Hello and welcome. This is TruGreen in action. This is a post-Christmas video and plenty of people have recently been removing external Christmas decorations like these from their lawns, only to find a bit of damage left behind underneath. We pop these down here. The good news is, with a few simple steps, you can help it recover quickly. So winter lawns flatten easily because the conditions are stacked against them. The soil stays soft, it's often very saturated with the rain, growth slows right down, frost weakens the grass blades, and anything sitting on the surface, such as Christmas decorations, blocks light and airflow. Let's break down the key causes of the damage. Grass needs light. That's how it photosynthesizes and creates its energy to grow. Roots need oxygen, so compaction or saturation can suffocate the plant. And leaves need airflow. If they don't get airflow, then ultimately it creates the perfect conditions for disease to spread. Now, grass doesn't die immediately when it's covered, but after about a week, it stops making energy and starts surviving on reserves. Once those are gone, ultimately it becomes a lot harder. Let's look at some time frames. After approximately 3 days, grass becomes stressed. We've got a pot behind us that we'll take a look at in a moment, just underneath where that's been sat on there for a few days. And you'll see that how the plant is starting to become stressed and laying flat. After around 7 days, you'll start to see real yellowing of the plant. After around 14 days, this becomes some patchy and isolated death of the plant itself. And after 4 weeks, you'll have long-term damage and potential for higher quantity of death of that plant. So what can be done? So if you can avoid these sort of problems, obviously, in the first instance, that is the ideal. But what can you do if it has already taken place? Well, some really easy steps. First thing is to use something like a brush. This is the quickest improvement you can make, whether it's a brush or a light rake. Also got a light leaf rake if you've got one. Kind of all of these things will just help you pull the grass back upright. It's the quickest improvement you can make. So brushing itself, it lifts the grass fibres, improves airflow, and just helps the surface dry out again and reduces the risk of disease. I like to use quite a stiff brush like this one. It's non-absorbent. You don't want to be too rough, and you want to brush in different directions when you do it. So we're just going to have a look under this pot. So if we just move this to the side, you'll start to see how this grass has started laying sideways. And actually you can just start to see these bare patches that have been compacted down. You can see that soil. Now obviously this has got a few other things under there as well with the leaves that haven't been cleared. But this is just the start of some of the sort of sideways damage and patches that start being left when something's put on the lawn. Now this is literally only been sat on the lawn for a couple of days, and so you can imagine actually after about a week this is start to go yellow. You can see it's just starting to turn on the corner here, but it will continue that. And actually when you have something sat on the lawn during the summer, this will happen even quicker because the plant will be in full growth mode, so it'll actually be using up its resources far quicker. But that gives you a little bit of an idea, and this is where you really want to take your brush, and this is where you can just with a little bit of a rub just bring it back up, and you can start to see how that grass is starting to stand back up now, and just that will help get some oxygen back to it and hopefully stop any disease coming into it as well. The other thing that you're going to want to do is to aerate. Light aeration helps water drain away and gives the roots a bit of oxygen. This is both essential for recovery. So again, with a small area after something like a Christmas decoration, you can just use a light fork like this. You want to spike it to about 8 to 10 centimeters deep. Just give it a little bit of heave, so just wiggle the fork slightly when it's in the ground. That just brings some oxygen back into the soil. Similarly, you obviously just, if you're going to put some aeration, you just want to push the fork down nicely into it like that, and then just give it a bit of heave so that you can just see some lift from the actual soil there, and that's what gets the air down into it. And again, this will just help ensure that the plant stays strong and it gets the oxygen it needs. The other thing just to consider when you're doing this is actually if you've set the decorations kind of across the lawn, is actually where you walk across to them as well. Again, that's going to have built up a little bit of compaction, a little bit of light aeration there will only do it good. Most flattened lawns bounce back well with a little help in January. The important thing is it can be put right, but it's always easier when you catch it early. In our next video, we will be looking at how to avoid patchy spring lawns. If you need any tips or advice in the meantime, reach out to us for your free TruGreen lawn analysis. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. But until next time, that's TruGreen in action.